live, laugh.
How's it going, everybody? This is Daniel,
And I'm Christian.
and we are joined by it's beef.
It's just beef.
That's right, just beef. This is the only thing that matters in this world is beef.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I promised this was going to be the question, no matter even if you said that or not. But let's say you're given an unlimited budget and you got to spend it on beef. What kind of beef were you getting?
I'm probably gonna get the not even gonna lie, probably the chop stew. It's just cheapest. It stretches. I don't care how tough it is. I'll eat the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's a good.
Yeah.
What's your top 3 different kind of beefs?
You know, honestly, I'm so poor. I only know like beef. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I've never really tried anything else.
Well,
That's okay. That's okay.
That's okay. Yeah. So change of plans. We're actually going to teach you about beef for the next hour, if that's okay.
Yeah, dude, I'm here. I'm coachable. I'm ready. I'm willing.
Let me get this diagram up real quick. Christian, can you talk while I get the?
Hear that, everyone? He's
slideshow?
coachable. He's ready to learn. Let's get that social media from you to get you booked off this beef seminar.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. But it's a seminar that I don't have to host, so I'm down.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So where can everybody find you? Do you have any shows coming up? Anything you want to plug at all?
Yeah, I'm always at OVW on Thursdays. I start my weekends always in Louisville. This weekend, the weekend of the 27th, or I don't know when it's going to be posted, but I have West Coast Pro, and then let me see. I have the calendar right here. Probably should have this stuff ready for you guys. I'm so sorry. But end of the month and the West Coast for West Coast Pro, and then starting out January with OVW and Columbus, or Emerge in Columbus, Ohio, or in Columbus, Indiana.
Yeah,
they're not gonna book me anymore. And then got the birthday the next weekend after that, and then finishing up the month of February. And for West Coast, I'm gonna make my Los Angeles debut. Very excited to wrestle in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah.
And then wrapping up the end of the month with AAW in Chicago and Unsanctioned Pro in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio. So that's where that mix-up came. So, yeah, got a nice little February ahead of me. Always looking to fill some more dates, but that's where I'll be end of January, all through February.
So if you're in Columbus, it doesn't matter which Columbus, you're gonna get the beef.
You're gonna get the beef.
Dude, it could be Columbus. Yeah, beef. Columbus and beef. Just I don't know. There's something there. If there was a Columbus, Kentucky, I'd probably live there.
And you're probably asking yourself, where's the beef? Well, we got the beef for you. It's going to be a great time. All the dates, just book them up, guys. Where does your story start with wrestling? And I'm talking if it's when you were a kid, what's your earliest memory of wrestling? Just kind of talk me through that.
Honestly, I remember watching it probably when I was. It's some of my very first memories watching with my grandmother. She obsessed. Like we had growing up, our situation was weird. Like any other white trash family in America, you have all kinds of siblings, people you don't even know if they're related to you living with you, but it's all family. And my family, white trash as can be, they loved wrestling. My grandmother watched it, and my dad had like a man that helped him along in his life. We call him Pappy Bill. That was just a man that was in my dad's life. He was a Kentucky State policeman. My dad was a troubled youth, so this guy really helped my dad. And then he basically became my dad's dad. And then they would go to Louisville Gardens and watch wrestling all throughout his childhood together. And then, so basically, it was just always something of it held weight in our house. It was always something that was on. We would watch it on Saturday mornings. It was even though my dad would make fun of it and mock it, say how stupid it was, it was always on the TV. So it's my earliest memories are wrestling. Honestly, like my mom always will remind me like use my little brother as like a weight, like put him on my back and like doing squats with him and like trying to do like Brock Lesnar moves and shit with him. So yeah, all kinds of silliness. But yeah, it's honestly my earliest memories. Like it's literally all my memories basically.
Yeah. So you mentioned. Oops, go ahead, Christian.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Okay, so you mentioned white trash. I think white trash is a culture. What are some of your favorite parts about white trash culture? Like maybe like, and if white trash had an anthem, what would it be as far as a song?
The anthem. I mean, there's all kinds of like famous white trash songs, but I would have to say it is Bottle Wall by Kid Rock. Yeah, like that. Yeah, it has to be something by Kid Rock. Like anything, like it's just because he is white trash. But the lifestyle is definitely, you know, you don't really get to choose if you're white trash. Yeah. You're born into it, and you can always try to get away from it. But man, I catch myself all the time. I'm eat with my fingers in public. I'm probably showing my butt crack way too often. I got a lot going on that like I can't escape. You know, it's who I am.
Yeah, I think Christian will attest. I'm also in the butt crack of like I have to put sunscreen on it because it's going to come out at some point. But yeah. So early on, wrestling, it's your life. Who are some of those characters that you really latched on to that kind of made you like continue watching?
Man, I love the Hardy Boys. I was obsessed with them, I'm 28 years old, so like when they were in their coming up stages was like when I was like first like forming like things I liked. Like I was like, oh shoot, like the colors, like the flying around. It was mesmerizing to me. So yeah, man, I was in love. I still love Jeff Hardy. Like I think he's the best. Maybe not. Well, yeah, I think he's like the best wrestler. Like a kid my time, you know, everybody I ask is like Jeff Hardy's in that top 5.
Yeah, of course. Like he's so many people's reasons for like watching. Like he's the next generation's like Stone Cold or Steve Austin.
He really kind of transcended. I remember in middle school and high school, like I'd be like people who weren't wrestling fans knew who Jeff Hardy was, which was the most bizarre thing for a kid me, because I'm like, wait, how like to me like he's a wrestler, but he really transcended pop culture a little bit.
Yeah, he truly did. I mean, and Matt did too. Matt was just Matt wasn't as like flashy or anything, but like he definitely was like. I love watching him punch people. Like I love watching him drop the leg. I loved everything about that tag team. Lita, I even thought it was cool when Michael Hayes was with him. I was like, "Who is this old man? Like, this is cool. This is like, is this Uncle Hardy? Who is this man?" But no, I enjoyed it all, man. Like my sister, like was like she was into the golf stuff growing. Like she is. I was born in '95. She was born in '89. Yeah, '89. So there's there's 6 years if my math is correct, and so she was into like golf culture and like all kinds of like alternative things. So like that was like who she really liked, and my sister was like my like best friend growing up. So pretty much what she liked is like what I thought was cool. Like she kind of like helped mold my like taste for things.
Yeah, I had a similar situation, but like I was born in '94. My brother was born in '88, and it's that perfect age where they kind of know what's up and they could share it. Like I have like I think back and I was listening to like he was really into like pop punk. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I was like listening to like stuff that like people were like, oh man, this is great stuff. I was just sitting like on the bus, like listening to these I'm not saying that it's pop punk, but like my brother like burned me American Idiot for Green Day. And I just remember like sitting that when nobody else in my school like knew what Green Day was. Like, so it's definitely cool to have that older sibling who like
that was actually the first CD I ever bought was American Idiot.
Yeah.
And dude, honestly, like so weird about that album. I know this is like, I mean, this is whatever, but my brother, my 2 brothers are autistic, and they have Asperger's, my sister she has learning disabilities, and I just have severe ADHD. So, but my brothers, they never liked music. But that album, American Idiot, my brother Nathan, he could sing it from front to back. He like was like even trying to learn bass because of that album. It's crazy. Like that was like such an influential album, and like this album was like what, like 15 or so years before that, Dookie.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm a big music freak, so
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Like, you know, having like these things and like, oh, it's exclusive to me. Like, but like, wait 2 years, everybody's gonna know this is gonna be the biggest thing ever.
Yeah. Who's like?
And that happened for Jeff Hardy, but not for Matt so much.
What's your like Mount Rushmore of music, like bands?
Oh, you know, that's so weird. I was like, I swear, like I'm not even making this up. I thought about this question, and I didn't even think about like wrestlers or anything, because like my taste changes so much with wrestlers, but like music's always like, I'm always finding new things I like. But I'm obsessed with Rancid. I really love Rancid. I love anything Lars does. I like his melodies. I like his hooks. I like his structure of song. Any band he's in, it's a Lars song. And I've recently gotten to the Swingin' Utters. I love that band a lot. Another California. I think they're from San Fran. They're from the Bay. I'm pretty sure. Real awesome band. So we're similar in age. So probably a lot of the bands I like are you'll know. I was really into like metalcore type bands and stuff. So I always throw counterparts in there. I love the technical aspect, and like I just remember seeing them a million times when I was like 15 years old, and they were just cool guys, so they'll always stick with me. And then Steve Miller Band, that's definitely up there. And then I'm sure this is tough off the top. A Mount Rushmore. Shoot, man, I'm trying to think of something different, but we'll go. I'll just say Panic at the Disco, man. Like that first out, Fever You Can't Sweat Out.
So good.
I think of that. Or actually, I would probably put. I'm so bad. I'm an albums guy. I like bands for like certain reasons, but like if there's like an album or two in a row that I don't really care for, I might not be too interested in them. But those first three Fall Out Boy albums were pretty monumental for me.
You said that. That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Yeah, man. All three. What's the
Something Under a
I'm such a poser.
Infinity on High, and then I don't remember.
The one before that. There's one before with like Grand Theft Autumn.
Oh yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Saturday.
God dang it! Everybody's listening to this is gonna like give me shit at shows. They're like, "You're such a freaking poser."
Yeah, I Fall Out Boy. It's 100% that way. Even I'll give them up until Folie à Deux. I like Folie à Deux, but like after that, when they started going like full on like
strange pop.
Yeah, but like Infinity on High, I think like there's so many good songs on there. There's like, I don't know, just say like every fucking song on that album.
Infinity on High is just, oh my gosh. I remember I think it was what was the music video they had the little monkey in it? Thanks for the Memories.
Oh yeah.
I remember seeing that, and I just had that's when because the album before that, it was like they had Sugar We're Going Down, and it was like the craze on MTV.
Yeah.
It was but then they put that music video out for oh my gosh, I keep losing the song CTE guys. Oh my gosh, help me out! I just said it.
Thanks for the Memories.
Thanks for the Memories. Yeah. That was kind of how we were talking about earlier. It's like, holy crap, they're humongous now. Like, yeah, it was so cool though. Sorry, big music guy.
Yeah, I could. For Christian's sake, we'll move on. We'll get back to wrestling because but I could talk about Fall Out Boy for a lot longer. So big into the Hardys. Have you like been a lifelong? Is there? I guess the better question: has there ever been a point where you like stopped watching wrestling?
There was a time. So I used to go to OVW every week as a kid. whether it was with neighbors or if I found a ride with people, like I went. Like I didn't care who it was. I didn't care who was taking me. Parents didn't even care.
Yeah.
They played poker. They played cards on Wednesday nights, and that's when I used to go to OVW. So they didn't give a crap as long as like I somehow made it home. So I went there a lot, and then my dad just always gave me so much crap. Like when like in high school, like because I was the kid that was like, I'm gonna do this. Like I'm either gonna be in a band touring or I'm gonna be a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
And my dad just always shit on it. He's just like, that's so stupid. Like neither of that's gonna work out for you. Quit that girly singing and that screaming.
Yeah.
Like he just always gave me shit about everything. So I think in high school, probably like freshman sophomore year, I was like not really into it. But then CM Punk did that.
Yeah.
He had that I think 2010 around 2011 was like when I got back in. So I stopped watching it. I still watch it if it came on, but like I quit obsessing over it for about 2 years, and then oh man, CM Punk, I watched him at OVW. Like I watched his full run. Like I watched him every week. I caught him on a dive when I was like a kid. He wrestled at my high school, and he dove over the guardrail onto me and my buddy Josh. And I swear it was a tag match. He was wrestling Deuce and Domino. I literally talk about it all the time. It's like one of my greatest memories. But so like whenever he did all that stuff, it just really like it brought me back because I just really got into punk rock too. Then I'm like, okay, like I this really like I get this. It kind of like I feel it, you know, like I was an athlete in school, but like I also like doing the metal thing. So like I had my ears all stretched out and got kicked off sports teams for it. So like of course when you're a kid, you literally latch to anything that you can like relate to. And I just I felt him, like I really did.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about CM Punk, and I'm sure Christian does too. It's one of his favorites. But you mentioned OVW, and like you've had to have seen some pretty cool guys come through OVW. If you're there every week, what are some like your favorite moments that you got to experience going to those shows?
Well, like I got to go. Like we would. So my cousin, or not my cousin, my buddy's Josh cousin. His name was Kid. I think it was Kid Kirk or. It was something like that. His real name was Kirk. He was my manager at a warehouse at one point. But he was kind of the guy that would like do the road shows for OVW and just lose, so the other guys didn't have to. So we traveled everywhere to go see these matches. They used to have shows at Six Flags in Louisville, and Chris Benoit would come down. He would come to wrestle all the guys. I saw him wrestle like Eugene for an hour. Yeah, man, and like the scorching summer heat, like they would have like 2-hour shows, and like they would like do like crazy long matches. It was super impressive. I've seen everybody. I saw John Cena when he came back to OVW. I saw CM Punk when he came back from like being ECW champion. Everybody I saw, like I never saw Randy Orton there. I saw William Regal there. Actually, I met Al Snow before. He used to do like like he was a staff member. He did a lot of that stuff. So I told him about a story when I was a kid. I didn't know how like a disposable camera worked. So I'm like patting him on his shoulder over the Davis over the guardrail, and he looks up at me. He's like, "What do you want?" Like I was like, I got annoying with him. He used to be an announcer, so I was like messing with him like while he's announcing, not while he's announcing, but like while the show's in a break. Yeah. And I was like, "Hey, I want a picture." So I reached down and I tried to take a picture, but I kept taking pictures of the ring. Like I didn't realize how to flip it over. So there's a picture of Al like taking a selfie with me like on a disposable somewhere in my parents' house. So yeah, like cool. I've seen a lot of really cool stuff go through there, man. I saw Mark Henry there. Like I've seen literally anybody that was at OVW from like 2003 to like 2012. Even the TNA run they had, like I knew all those like Rockstar Spud, like all those guys. They were all there at OVW. Like I saw everybody.
So sorry.
What do you think? And this is a little off topic, off the like trail we're on. But given that you saw all these independent shows, quality, and I would call it independent shows, but it's kind of hard to call these independent shows. How do you compare that to, I guess, what indie wrestling is now? Because that's much different, much different. So
Yeah,
how would you compare that?
it's in the end, it's all wrestling. Wrestling is it, as much as it's different. It all happens in between the three ropes. There's four turnbuckles. There's boards. There's pads. There's metal. It's all wrestling. At OVW, it's a TV company, so you're not going to go out there and do a million things in 15 minutes. You're going to do the best three things you could do in 5,
Yeah.
and the best things that you can do to make the crowd feel something or further a storyline. We run every week, sometimes twice a week, so we can actually do stories. Like we don't have to worry if somebody does miss a week. It's okay because they'll be back the week after that, and you can still keep on what you're like. It's not. And I'm not saying independent wrestling. It is independent wrestling. It's all the same, but there's different ways of doing it.
Yeah.
OVW, you're not fitting 5 pounds of shit in a 2-pound bag. You're putting 2 pounds of shit in a 2-pound bag. Like it's not too much. I love it. It's what I grew up liking. I love TV wrestling. I love when they insult your intelligence sometimes to keep a storyline going. I like continuity. I don't mind. I'm simple. I'm entertained easily. So I do like the style of it, but I also love independent wrestling because I'm a huge Japanese fan. Like I love all those crazy hour-long matches with like 1,000 false finishes. I love that stuff too. But I don't. As much as they're different, it's all the same.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of huge differences, even though I just had at least 2 minutes to talk on it. But like, it's all the same to me. I'll do it all.
Yeah.
Except for death matches. I'm not doing that anymore or ever again.
Yeah, I saw a few clips of a few death matches you've had, and I completely understand why. You mentioned you're a big sucker for like that old TV thing. To go back just a little bit to OVW, are there a few people that you saw in OVW that you were like, these guys are the next thing that turned out maybe not to be? Or is there anybody that you were like, this guy sucks, but they turned out to be something great?
All right, well, I'll answer the first one. So there was a dude that was at OVW for years called Seth. He was Seth Skyfire. He was awesome. He was just. I thought he was going to be like the biggest. I was like, in my mind as a kid, I was like, he's going to be a WWE champion. And I don't really know what he ever panned out to do, but he didn't. He never became a WWE champion. Yeah. But I will say he was very impressive and like always like super entertaining, and like he was very good in the ring. Like he was one of those guys where I thought for sure he's going to be like a big deal.
Yeah.
But like, what do you know when you're 12, 13 years old? But and then honestly, man, whenever Cody Rhodes first came there, I hated him. I thought I hated him. He was good, but I just was like, he's a pretty boy. Like,
yeah,
I grew up around real people, like not Hollywood. Yeah. I didn't think he was going to be anything. I didn't really even care if he did good, but I was also 12, 13 years old. I was like, I hated everything I didn't like, and I made sure everybody knew I was like the one kid that was just constantly booing Cody Rhodes. And then he grew on me. He like got in tag teams and like had like good stories. And then like you get to see like when you're 13, somebody can like go out there and like go a million miles an hour. It's cool, and you end up loving him. So yeah, now he's the biggest freaking deal in all of wrestling. So what the heck? I definitely should never be a talent scout.
That's awesome. Yeah, like when you said OVW, I was like, you've probably seen some really cool shit. We could probably talk this whole podcast about that, but this is about you after all. So you took a break, you got into CM Punk. It seems like you've always kind of been on the I want to do this or music. At what point do you finally kind of take the leap and start your journey as a wrestler?
I was trying to start as early as like 17. So I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with like the Louisville scene or like IWA or any of the history, but actually Cash Flow from OVW. We're from the same hometown, same high school, went to school with his brothers, lifted weights with his middle brother. So like I've known who he is because I don't know if you heard earlier, but my buddy Josh's cousin was a wrestler and he like did jobs for OVW.
Yeah.
Well, he was one of Cash's good buddies, and Cash we always knew Cash was because they wrestled together. So Cash opened up a school in our hometown, a wrestling school, and I couldn't afford it at the time. But I tried so many times to get in there to go for free, and it just never worked out. And I just couldn't afford it, honestly. Like, so I really just took like the time from like 18 to 20 to like really I did like the whole like listen to podcasts and learn that way. And I heard Dolph Ziggler, he would literally do like he would go out and take bumps on the ground, and like I heard Sami Zayn say that was a part of his training. So I just went outside and I did all that silly shit. Like I went outside, I learned how to bump without hurting my head, without getting dizzy. I did it all in the grass. I did all that stuff because like I was obsessed. It was everything to me. So couldn't like afford a school. They were just way too expensive. My grandmother was living at the time. I was helping take care of her. So my focus was just like, I'm going to get strong, and I'm going to like really focus on like getting prepared, like saving up money. Yeah. And then one day out of boredom, I just got on Instagram and I looked up Kentucky wrestlers. I looked at the hashtag and I found this wrestler named Matt Atreya, and I just hit him up, and I was like, he's probably famous. I didn't know how it worked. Like, I guess I knew how it worked, but like, I didn't know how egos were, you know. I'm becoming a man at this point. Like, I don't want to like be rude or like come at somebody and not like, you know, show respect. So he messaged me back instantly. He's like, show up at this address Monday. And then from there, I just started training. It was significantly a lot less cheaper. And I would go and like, I would do bumps in the ring, and like they would be like, "Who trained you? Like where are you from? Like who did?" And I had to tell them, I was like, "I've been doing this in my backyard for like the last 2 years. Like I'm upset. Like I want to be the best in this class at this. Like the training was not world class. It wasn't, you know, state of the art, make you the best worker, best wrestler in the world. But it was an introduction into the business. So I started training like a week after turning 20 officially. So. From there, just, you know, going to training every week. My buddy Brad ended up picking up the bill because at the time I was going through some like really difficult personal life stuff and just had no money. I was 20 years old. I was just working for like $8 an hour, driving a 90 S10, driving all over the place for wrestling with a truck that like could have killed me any moment. Like just risking it all. And my buddy Brad, he was very nice. He ended up picking up the bill. He just told me I had to like pay my dues. Like I just had to help them out. I had to like just work really hard. So then from there, I started going to my first bookings. My trainer took me to a place called Strictly Insane somewhere in Illinois. I should remember this is the first place I got booked at.
Probably Columbus, Illinois, right? Columbus, Illinois.
Columbus, Illinois. Yeah, for sure. Columbus, Illinois. And we was in there, and then these guys were like Mikey McFinnigan. He was in a tag team called Raw Sweet Lisa. And he was like, "Hey, I wrestled a girl in like a manager in a tag match, and I just went up there and just let them bump me around, do everything." And he was like, "Hey, man, like, where are you from?" He's like, "How long you been doing this?" I'm like, "This is my first match." And he was like, "Oh, good." He's like, "'Cause you're terrible." And then like that was the first time anybody had ever told me like I was bad at it, and I was like, I like that. Like all these guys have just been so like cool to me. Like I need like I was feeling stagnant, so that was cool. It was like a push. I needed to hear that. And then the next show I'll go there, and he's like, "Hey, you did better this match. Would you want to come travel with me and my tag team partner? We travel all around the country." And then my trainer was not down with that because I hadn't graduated yet, and that caused some like riffraff. But I ended up going out on my own. I moved to Dayton, Ohio. I sought out some more training. And then from there, I went with those guys, Raw Sweet Lisa. I started just first weekend on the road. It was going to be Tennessee, and I didn't know about the next one was Phoenix, Arizona. And we were going to drive there from Tennessee without any. This is my first time wrestling out of like without my trainer. So I don't know how any of this stuff works. Yeah. I've been in bands. I know how like that traveling works and stuff, but this is different. Like you meet people and you're like, all right, we're going. I don't know who you are, but I'm going to meet you in this state and we're going to go to 5 states away. So that was a real learning curve for me. But that show, I met a tag team called the Hooligans. Mm-hmm. And then Mikey basically dumped me on them. And he was like, we're going to Phoenix. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? He's like, go to Georgia with them. So I from there on, for like the first like 3 years of my career, I was like on the road with them every weekend, like wrestling all over. I think in my first 3 years, I wrestled in like 21 states.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So, from 2019 on, I've been really just getting it done on my own, going out on my own.
So I want to backtrack just a little bit. You said your dad was giving you shit for watching wrestling as a kid. What kind of response are you getting from your dad in the backyard, taking bumps by yourself?
Get the hell out of there. Don't do that back there. You're going to get hurt. We don't have insurance. Like, don't do that. Like, so I would just go, I would go to Shepherdsville Park, and there was a hill that I would do sprints on. And I would just roll down it recklessly. I just would fall down the hill.
Just like tucking and going.
Yeah, I would go forward. I would roll forward and just keep rolling, and I would go down backwards and then roll backwards. I can't even make this shit up.
Honestly, that's kind of like yes, very dangerous. Could break your neck. But like that teaches you how to do it. That motion, like getting comfortable, is the hardest part. And you were like, I'm gonna learn it.
Oh yeah, and like honestly, man, if I'm told something from a great, I'm just gonna do it. Mick Foley, that's how he just threw his body at the ground to learn how to like fall. So I was just like, I'm gonna do it too. I've been getting hurt since my first hospital visit, besides probably like, I guess leaving the hospital when I was a kid, was when I think I was like 4 years old, and I was playing hide go seek with my brother, and I was hiding in. This was awesome. This is a great story. I thought it would be so like I would never be found if I hid inside of a sleeping bag on the top bunk. Uh-huh. And my brother's a few years older than me, and of course I'm a little kid, probably suffocating and can't. I'm like dying in this Ziploc. God dang it! What am I saying?
Sleeping bag.
A sleeping bag. Yeah. I was in a sleeping bag, and I thought I was being quiet, but I wasn't. And he pulled me by my feet in the sleeping bag off the top bunk, and I fell face first to the ground. And like, I've been practicing falling down since I was a youngin. Yeah, I still have a bruise on my lip, not bruise, I have a cut, and my nose. That's the first time I broke my nose. Sorry for the tangent, guys. I like to talk about it.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
I do love the idea that there's probably somebody you were a part of their life. They were on their way home from work, and they're just like, "There's that kid throwing himself down the hill again."
He can't beat the hill.
Yeah.
Did anyone ever stop and be like, "You good?" or was it always just a clean rollout?
I mean, I'm sure people had to see it's a park, but like there was like a side of the hill that was like away from like the road. My wife knows exactly where I'm talking about. Probably there's a baseball practice field, and it's this humongous hill, and on the inside of it, nobody can see you. Like so I would just do it down that side and just really hope for the best. I'm sure people saw that and just went on their merry way.
Yeah.
They're like, we know who that is. We're not gonna mess with that.
Yeah.
So we have what your dad thought about you doing bumps in the backyard. When you're on the road now, you're doing
flatbacks, not the other kind of bumps. Only the wrestling bumps. We'll leave that to my dad.
That's great.
There's probably somebody in that side of the park doing bumps. If it's the part where you can't be seen, it just wasn't you.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, my camera.
So what does your dad think when you've now made the jump of you're wrestling, you're on the road?
You're a freaking idiot. Yeah, Man, as much as he hates on it, he's my biggest fan.
Yeah.
So my dad runs a flea market, well, multiple booths. I don't know if the IRS should hear this because but he has multiple booths. He's like obsessed with like selling stuff. He's my dad's never had a real job. My dad literally has always just, he's hustled.
Yeah.
And he, as much as like he shits on me and tells me how stupid I am, I literally have people message me on Facebook that I don't know. They are fans of, like, I just met your parents and they did not stop talking about you for like the last 25 minutes. And how proud they are and how, like, stoked they are. But then I'll go see my dad. He's like, have you quit that stupid shit yet? And I'm like, people are telling me how nice you're being. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what is this? Like, but he obviously I think he's proud of me. I hope so. But he does remind me how dumb this shit is. So
I do want to say this is episode 75. We have never heard anybody throwing themselves down a hill. So congratulations. That's a first. So fast forward from there, you're in the road now. What is life like on the road? I guess two-part question here. How different is wrestling traveling versus being in a band and traveling?
I mean, I only really did the traveling thing with a band for about a year, and we were just a regional band. It's not much different. You're crammed for space. You got a drum set and a Ford Escape. And then, like, you got all your basses, you got all the guitars, and then, like, everybody in the band, you only have the band members because it's all you can fit in the car.
Yeah.
So it's crammed. It's the same thing, but, like, I didn't do the band thing too long, so I don't really know how like that life is. But like wrestling, traveling is in the beginning it was really rough because like you're paying dues to people and I literally put 300,000 miles on a car driving all around. So like it's taxing on your body, on your mind, on your pocketbook. It is like a band because like you are all chipping in usually. Like you are usually trying to, at least everybody throws in $5 for gas, somebody can't eat, you help them eat, you try, you try your hardest, but it is very hard when you're first starting out. And I will say, I guess the first couple of years are the same as being a band because you don't make no money. And you're like, I remember like the very last band trip I went on, I couldn't afford food and I went and set the table, like moping like a sad dog.
Yeah.
And this was like in a small little Tennessee town. Like these people didn't have to do this, but they brought me on a full plate of food, and they ended up paying for. They didn't make any of us pay. Like they ended up like giving us like our money back.
Awesome.
They were just really sweet people, Like that's really that's really 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 rare to find in the world. And like I honestly sometimes I wouldn't even know if I would have that in my heart. But you have stuff like that makes you it humanizes everything. Makes you realize like. We all need a little help every now and again, but it's pretty much the same thing. It's just different, different forms of entertainment. You don't get hurt nearly as much playing music. This is another thing. I was practicing these bumps and stuff on stage. Like we were like a decent band, but like at the time I was really inspired by the band Let Live, and I loved their live show. I just love that, and I was like, I want to be the next Jason. Their vocalist, he would like climb rafters. He would like ride horses during shows. Like he would just do anything to like be remembered. And that's kind of what I was doing. So I don't know. I was always practicing wrestling somehow. But yes, the road it's the same. It's the same. It sucks and it's hard. It's hard on everything in your life.
Bumps on stage. Can you walk us through that a little bit more? Like, are you just like
wrestling bumps on stage,
like trust falling, like climbing on stuff and then just diving off, or?
No, okay. So like, it was a shirt that we made, and like, there's a picture of me on the ground, like laughing because it hurt so bad I couldn't get up. I would never like do like wrestling moves or none of that silliness. And out of nowhere, I would just jump up and land on my back. I would jump as high as I could in the air and just land on my back on the stage.
Yeah.
And nobody liked it. The crowd didn't care. But it would just. I would look over at my buddy Simon Drummond. He'd be like, "You're so stupid." But he would love everybody. It was just fun. I was 18, 19 years old. It didn't hurt. It literally was great. It made me feel alive to do that stuff. So yeah. I would just jump out as high as I could and kind of pencil flat and just. Yeah, my bandmates were actually talented musicians too, very good guitar players and drummers and singers. I was just thumping around on the bass and just being an idiot. Yeah. I wish I took it more serious.
Amazing.
But
you're still very young. You got opportunity to maybe do that. There's a lot of wrestlers that go on to have rock careers. So after you get your big contract, you just hit the band Fozzy style.
Oh yeah, dude! I was actually watching a list of the lies that Hulk Hogan has told, and that man was almost in Metallica.
Yeah.
So a rock career is definitely possible for me.
Yeah, when we first started this podcast, it wasn't like an interview podcast, and we had a segment where I would read lies that Hulk Hogan has told, and then ones that I made up, and he would have to kind of pick the ones that are different. And some of the stuff that he has said is just fucking bananas. Yeah,
dude, I would love to play that sometime. That because he's pathological.
Oh, he's crazy. So that 3-year period where you're on the road, what are some of your favorite memories from that time?
I have a lot of good memories, just mostly the stupid stuff that I did. I did not know it was illegal, but I jumped in the Blue Hole in New Mexico, or maybe it's in Texas. I think it's in New Mexico. It's like a landmark of America. We just drove, we knew we were gonna be by it, so we stopped there.
Yeah.
And I jumped in it, and I think only scuba divers are supposed to be in there. And it was I think it was 27 degrees outside. So basically the scuba divers were if you all get caught by the police, you're going to jail. You all can't be in here right now. Yeah. So, but it doesn't make any sense to me because there's a rock 10 feet above the water. There's a flat surface. It's this is meant for jumping off of. There's stairs up to this.
Any other answer here? This is the only answer.
Yeah. So I jumped in the Blue Hole. That was pretty cool. I mean, like I said, I either was in or wrestled in 21 states in 3 years. That was pretty. A lot of people I know didn't do that stuff till just recently. So there it is.
Yeah, sorry.
That's the Blue Hole.
Wow.
Not what I was expecting, but
yeah, I actually expected
that looks like something you would want to jump in.
A little 3x3.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's meant for jumping in. There is literally a ledge.
It looks like a resort. How am I not going to jump in that?
Yeah.
That's exactly that's the hole. Yeah, I did that, and then is that in New Mexico or is that in Texas?
It's in New Mexico.
New Mexico, okay. Yeah, I did that. I went to a bunch of trampoline parks. I don't know if that's really cool at all, but we did that quite a few times. I've seen not even trying to sound cool. I've just seen so much stuff. There's also another, I think it's either New Mexico or Texas. There's this crazy gas station. You just stop in. It's it looks nicer.
Yeah.
It's old, but then you go in the back and it's a whole museum. Uh-huh. It's there's cars owned by Elvis. There's hot rods that James Dean had. It's crazy. I saw there's a mall gas station. I saw the first Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
All the fun little the sheets, the walls, all those cool things. Yeah.
So something about me is one of my favorite things is regional gas stations.
Yeah.
We are in North Carolina. We have Sheetz for the most part. But like my wife's family's from Philly, they have Wawa. I fucking love Wawa. But just like every time we go somewhere new, I'm like, I got to go to this gas station. It looks like they might have some cool shit in there.
Yeah.
What is your Mount Rushmore of gas stations?
Oh, phew. So I'm from Louisville. So my favorite is Circle K.
Okay.
Circle K is God. Thornton's is 2. Thornton's is like, you got to be ready for whatever, though. When you go to the Thornton's, I don't care where you're at.
Yeah.
Something will, or somebody will ask you or something. So I like that. It keeps me on my toes. That's number 2. Oh, man. I don't care about the Wawa sheet thing. They're 3 and 4. You know, I like them. I think it's cool. You can order as much food you like, and it's so cheap. I like that. And then trying to think of a good one because there's that's the only I don't know. There's one on the way in Maine that we always stop at between Boston and Maine. It's called shoot. It's a really cool one. It has like pictures of dogs all around the ceiling, so I always like that about that. Yeah, that's probably it. It's like it starts with a K, I'm pretty sure.
If anybody is in Maine, please let us know.
Oh yeah, if they're in Maine, they'll definitely. It's the only thing between that and this, you know, Cannonbunk or something. Cannonbunk, yeah, that's the one. I'm pretty sure that is it. I was thinking of the one in the town called Cumbies, but that's just a gas station. It's just a gas station. This place is like amazing. There's like dogs on the roof. There's a Burger King.
Yeah.
Big Apple?
Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
I heard you say Cannonbunk, and I Googled it. I put Cannonbunk gas station, and the top result is like one of those Yahoo answers. And the question is, if you shoot a gun at a line of petrol/gasoline, will it actually ignite like in the movies?
Well, yeah, our answer was not. I think we'll just go with this Cannonbunk. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So
Apple or what was it?
Yeah.
Good Apple.
Big Apple. Good Apple.
Happy Apple.
Yellow Apple. Christian.
Big Apple.
Big Apple.
Big Apple. Okay. All right. We'll go with that to round it out.
All right.
So we're at the part of the show where we always focus so much on like the small stuff, and then we get to like the bigger parts of your career. We're just kind of hopping around. You mentioned Maine, and I'm guessing for Maine that means you're going to Limitless Wrestling. Talk us through your relationship working at Limitless and kind of what it means. If I'm not mistaken, at one point they made you the champion there as well, or is that something?
Yeah. I was a champ. Yeah. No. Yeah, man. I that was the first company that really took a chance on me. It's the first company that flew me out of, I get into relevance, you know, they put me on an airplane. They really took a big chance on me, you know, and they, from then, like, you know, it's just kind of gone up, you know, that place, it means a lot to me, you know, as a launching pad for my career, you know, I think it made people really start taking me serious, you know, that I was like, going to this place and people that don't even know me, and I was trying my hardest to be like a bad guy. Like at the time I was like trying to recreate Beef. It was pandemic, you know, we were all doing weird stuff, and I just, you know, I was trying to do this character, and I was just trying to be a nasty, mean heel. Yeah. And like these people they gave me a standing ovation after I lost as a bad guy, and I was not trying to get it, but I leaned into it, and the next show, like when I came out, it was just it was the craziest reaction I had heard up to that point. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, this is possible. Like these people don't even know me and they like me. Yeah. And it really helped with my confidence, man. Like Limitless is just like one of those places. It's a proving ground, and you know, I really wanted to like join that list of guys who became champion and moved on to the next level and had to like. You know, I really wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be like the MJFs, the Garcias, the Christian Casanova, or whatever his name is now. Like I wanted to be like Carmelo Hayes. There you go.
Yeah,
I wanted to be just like those guys, and you know, I worked really hard, and you know, sometimes you get outworked, and you know, people move above you, and you know, you just you hang in there, you hang tough, and you just roll with the punches, and
yeah.
you know, you work as hard as you can to prove that you are the best, and you know, just gotta, you know, I'm just grateful to be a part of that family. You know,
Of course, yeah.
I'm you know, I'm not ever gonna give up. I'm always gonna be working my way to be the best at where I'm at, and
Mhm.
some people will say that's silly because this is all fake, but
Yeah,
I love wrestling. You know, I
of
want
course.
to be seen as the best.
Yeah. What was that
So
moment like when you won the championship there for you?
it was the crowning moment, man. Like I could have never gone back there, and like it would have been like it was like one of those defining moments, like somebody that wasn't like a machines wrestler won the belt. You know, like
Yeah,
I wasn't one of the guys that I literally. I've not had like I mean I've had opportunities, I've done some nice stuff, but like to that point nobody even knew me. Like I was with MLW for a cup of coffee. You know,
yeah,
like I got man titties, you know, I'm not the mole. I have tattoos that probably never get me a look, you know.
yeah,
I have my name tattooed on my stomach. You know, a lot of people hate that. Like but, you know, a big independent company took a chance on me, and like, you know, it was just like one of those like like it was I could have been done with wrestling at that moment. Like the
yeah,
reaction, like the feeling, like just like how natural everything felt. Like I didn't like have the fake no feelings or anything.
yeah.
It was one of the best moments I've had so far.
That's awesome. You mentioned MLW. That's actually where we first saw you. It was 2002, Charlotte. It was like the Super Show or something like that. But you wrestled Gangrel. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Oh
so that was the first time we
yeah.
ever saw you was at MLW. What was that whole experience like for you?
I mean, it it was what it was. I uh I really wanted to do something there. I wanted to make something happen, and I was promised that like I would like have like a role, like I'd have like a
Yeah,
good spot, and then it instantly changed. The guy that got me on left the company the day I started.
yeah,
I don't think Court gave a shit about me. I like not to like sound bitter or nothing. I just think that he didn't have anything in mind for me. You know, like
yeah,
when it come down to time to do promos, it was never like they would have something for me. It was like this ain't gonna like this is not gonna work. Like
yeah,
this is like but I did my job the best of my ability, and I did whatever I was told, because that's what you do when you sign a
yeah,
contract somewhere. And um, I guess we couldn't figure out the dates, and it couldn't line up, so I got out of that.
yeah,
So yeah, I don't know how much I can actually say,
yeah.
but it's you know it worked out in my favor.
Yeah, I think that's very well put. Like I can definitely tell. There's more to say, but I think you worded it very well. To kind of go back to that match against Gangrel, if I'm right, the Hardy Boys they were a part of like the New Brood at some point, right?
Yeah. They were like that
Yeah,
was like their like that was gonna be their launching pad after they
yeah,
beat, I think, Edge and Christian. Yeah,
yeah. What was it like wrestling him? And you can,
dude. Honestly, I was starstruck, man. Like, but he was the coolest.
yeah,
He was like, no, like, what do you want to do? Like, you called the match. I'm like, no, like,
yeah,
I'm learning. Like, if I'm gonna wrestle you, I'm gonna learn. And he was just really cool. I don't know if that's too much like behind the scenes stuff, but
no,
he was
it's
very cool. He taught
yeah,
me a lot. He just really cool guy. You know,
yeah,
it was an awesome experience. Like, I actually learned from the dude.
yeah, and it's not too behind the scenes. I think at least I don't know about Christian, but I know he's not a vampire. So
Yeah, bro, he's not a vampire for sure.
Yeah.
This whole time?
Yeah. Yeah.
He did have the fangs though, for real. He has
Yeah,
for real fangs.
that's dedication.
He is a vampire.
Yeah. But like,
I knew it.
it's got to be
I
tough
knew it.
sometimes because like there's a certain amount of people who know that's Gangrel, but there's also a certain amount of people who have no idea who he is, and like you walk into like, let's say a Circle K, and you look like he looks, and you have the fangs. Like I'm sure he gets a lot of weird looks.
I love the idea of someone thinking they recognize them and they turn to their buddy. It's like, I think that's Gangrel. I think that's Gangrel. And they're like, no, I think I saw the fangs.
Did he have?
He's
fangs?
he's got the fangs in.
Yeah. There had to have been a point where he was like, these plastic teeth are so annoying. I'm doing it all in. Like I don't know what that point was.
I'm either
for him,
in
but
this or not.
yeah.
Commitment. It's like having beef on your stomach when your name's
Yeah.
Beef.
Let's talk about the beef, the big beef, Gnarls Garvin. Where does that whole character come from? Obviously, like most characters are just yourself turned up to 10, but like how did that kind of originate for you?
Honestly, and this is straight up, I was wrestling at a music festival in Texas. Man, I can't remember the name of it. I got to see like Dillinger's Escape Plan. I got to see Youth of Today. I got to see all kinds of bands there. Sound on Sound, that was called Sound on Sound in Austin, Texas. I was hanging out with the tag team Roscoe and Lisa, and they're so creative. They literally had like little sayings. They were basically like a walking, talking Adventure Time for like wrestling.
Yeah,
and they had like they called their fans Margugliacs. They're so creative.
Yeah,
like they had names that they made words up, you know. And I was talking to Zach, and I was really high on acid, and I said I don't know who I am, but I want to be something in wrestling. Like I was like, you all have all this creative stuff, like, and people will say it like there's not even a real word, and like people that have never seen you all will cheer that for you all. Like I need that. What am I? And he said, you're the big beef. He said, you're big and you're beefy. And then like from then on, like I just started wrestling as Big Beef. I just went.
Yeah.
I was going by like my given wrestler name, Jake Garvin.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I just was like, nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
Like nobody gives a shit. So that's when I had that talk with my buddy, and then had this revelation on hallucinogens, and then from then on it just it was beef.
Yeah. What is your ideal night? Let's say you take a hit of acid, do some shrooms. What is your ideal trip?
Never again. It started to get too gnarly. Yeah. Yeah. I had my fun time. I'll just lay back and relax and do the Snoop thing.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you. We have a code on this show. It's called That 70 Show is what we call it. So anytime that's mentioned, it's implied that that's what we're talking about. Because we'll have you back on. Yeah, we'll have you back on at some point. So now you know the lingo. Like everybody knows what it means, but it's still veiled and somewhat makes me feel safe.
Hear that, government? We feel safe.
I don't know where. So Music Festival, Texas, Big Beef, Gnarls Garvin. At what point do you commit to it, a la Gangrel, and get the tattoo?
I just did that. I think. Well, I should probably know this. When did I get this tattooed on my stomach?
About a year ago.
Almost a year ago.
Yeah.
You were doing a music festival. Yeah. I was my wife was bartending a music festival, and I sent her a picture of a stencil of beef on my stomach, and she's like, go ahead. So yeah, about a year ago.
Is that how you know that you picked the right one?
The tattoo or the wife?
The wife.
Oh, the wife for sure. Yeah. So funny enough, me and Miranda were middle school lovers at one point in our lives.
Wow.
Yeah, we go back, man. She knew Little Beef.
Yeah.
She still has Little Beef in her life, but
yeah,
we won't judge me.
So what are your middle school moves? I guess this might be a question for your wife, but how have your moves improved since middle school? Like little beef versus big beef.
You know, not much. I have no game. I don't know what she sees in me. I don't know what it was then. I don't know what it is now. I don't know. But I would say it was probably my my little redneck charm I had, like little
Yeah,
hey, like when I was a little
yeah,
country boy, had a little twang in my voice.
yeah,
She probably liked that a little bit. I've grown out my accent since, but
yeah,
you know, I've always been a little charmer, I guess.
yeah. I can see it. Little beef. We've kind of heard about all of the beef, the little beef, the middle beef, big beef, and now it's just beef. And you're in OVW, which has got to be a cool moment for you that you're wrestling and the promotion that you went seeing every Wednesday. So what is that journey like, and like what was the moment that you like first started working there? Like,
Well, I actually so like I just want to like so my goal during the pandemic, because everything like I still was wrestling
yeah,
monthly. Like I was having at least one or two matches during the pandemic when it was going on. Not
yeah,
at the very beginning, you can't like
yeah,
everybody was like stuck inside. But I don't know. I just made a goal that like I'm only gonna wrestle with people or for people that can teach me or can mold my career or give me some advice that actually is gonna help me. So
yeah,
uh, I'm really close with Too Tough Tony. He runs a building in Jeffersonville called the Arena,
uh,
and OVW could not film in Kentucky at the time because of they have a governing body that is like so strict, and obviously during COVID you can't yeah, it's kind of silly to
yeah,
film wrestling. You probably should you know probably shouldn't have fans there. So they ended up coming over to the Arena, and I was asked to do some matches for them, and
yeah,
then uh, that was cool. It was really easy, just in front of nobody, just do like 4-minute matches. And it's like, man, when I was a kid, these matches just seemed so much longer. But
yeah,
you go back, you watch, and it was like, holy shit, they were wrestling 5-minute matches. Like,
yeah,
so I really got into that. Obviously, doing independence, whatever. Um, I think it was in 2022 they hit me up and they just asked me like, hey, like, would you want to start coming in and doing some stuff? And I was like, yeah, I don't even care like about it. I just want to wrestle where I want to wrestle in the same place that like all my heroes
yeah,
wrestled. And then just over time, just wrestling every week, forming better relationships. Like it's just awesome. Like a lot of people shit on that idea of OVW and like the element of having everything so like I guess well done, well put
yeah,
together that like they like because it has that side of it and it doesn't have the other side like how AEW is like really cool and like looks awesome, but it's also like crazy independent wrestling on
yeah,
TV. OVW has some of that, but like just because like it's not like all that, like just
yeah,
because there are some like silly Memphis hokey TV stuff like that people don't like, which I love,
yeah,
they don't give it a chance. And I think that I think that it's so cool to get to wrestle there, man. I as like the independent guy, I get to show the guys that I'm with on these shows every
yeah,
the whole weekend after that it's like it's not that bad. It's really fucking cool actually.
yeah. How do you adjust for a 5 minute match versus like let's say a 20-minute indie style match?
I don't even like I don't I approach it all the same. I obviously am a lot less stressed out because the hard parts of wrestling for most people come easy to me because I like making the faces. I like acting. I don't care. Like I want to like in my mind I'm always wrestling for a camera. Like I want to see a
Yeah,
camera to see me making a silly face that might either make a crowd believe something or laugh their asses off. All that part comes easy to me. So I love wrestling. I love, like I said, long matches, but
yeah,
the 5-minute match thing is just like a blessing to me. I don't know. I'm not the best athlete. I'm not crazy. Like it suits me. I
Yeah.
not that I'm lazy. I work really hard in those 5 minutes, but like I just it does what I want with wrestling like better for me. Like I
Yeah.
like it's so much easier to tell a story in 5 minutes than 15 minutes
Of
and keep
course. Yeah.
somebody's attention for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I love it. Like I'm not at all shitting on like the independent style because I'm gonna go out and have an independent match the day after I have an OVW match.
Yeah.
This weekend. So it's all, like I said earlier, it's all the same to me. But like, there's different ways. Like obviously, before a 15-minute match, you're gonna have to stretch a lot more. You're gonna have to like be more loose. You're probably gonna like have to think a lot more, remember a lot more. So you probably don't. You probably take a lot more time to like, concentrate on that. But as you go into a 5-minute match, you just look on the bulletin board. You see who's you just do what like it's just so much more organized and so much like more easy. I love it, but also love independent wrestling. I know that's like
Yeah.
political. I'm just rambling
Yeah.
at this point, but
No.
yeah, I love it. I think it's just the way wrestling should be.
Yeah.
I think independent promotions would do a lot better if they would like maybe have a match not have a million, false finishes. Like maybe somebody wins by like having somebody's tights in their hands. Like
Yeah.
these crowds love wrestling. They love emotion. They do love incredible moves. I love incredible moves, but imagine like if it was a kid's first time seeing wrestling and they saw like I don't know, like somebody hit somebody with brass knuckles. They're like, that's cheating. Like a kid will know that,
Yeah.
Like a kid will understand that's like terrible. That's like that's bad. I I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just
No,
I'm
I
that
You're
70
good.
showed up.
Yeah. I love that. So we've kind of covered where we're kind of at up to this point. What does the future hold for you? Where are you looking to go at the end of your career? What do you want people to be able to say about beef?
Honestly, I just really, really want to. I know this is gonna sound so lame, but like, I want to be on TV. I want to be a hero to like the kids that aren't so fortunate and like grew up how I grew up. I want to be the face of that. Like, I really, it is who I am. I am an underdog. I tattooed that on my body. Like, I feel that way. Like, I want to be the face of that. Like, I want to be who little kids can like feel like I don't know. I want to be a role model in a way. Like I want to be like if I was 14 years old and I saw me, I'd be like that's the coolest wrestler ever. Like I want I don't know. I just want like people like I don't know understand how it is to, like not have like everything handed to them. And, like I want to be the representation of that for sure. Like
this generation's Dusty Rhodes. I would.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't fit molds. I literally try to like do everything opposite of like the right way, just to like sometimes piss people off. Like I don't know. Sometimes you gotta buck the system.
Of course, yeah.
You gotta do things a little bit differently to get noticed.
That's wrestling though. Look at the people that you love. Jeff Hardy bucked the system. Like all of these guys, like that are looked upon as the greats at one point, were doing something that people were like, "What the fuck?" So yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah,
so that's
for sure.
That's awesome. We like to wrap up with a less serious note, and Christian usually has a little bit of an arsenal here when it comes to the questions. So I'll let him take over on this portion.
Okay. Question 1 or question 2?
I don't care.
Oh God. Okay. So we're looking for like you're just gonna eat a lot of food, right? What is your go-to like ridiculous meal that you're just like I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna enjoy it?
I mean, I'm a sucker for anything really like mass quantities. I went to a Brazilian steakhouse once in somewhere in Florida, and I left like crying but happy.
Yeah,
I was sweating out of every pore of my body, and if I laughed, I would have thrown up. It was amazing. Yeah, so anything like I love buffets. I just any food I can eat. Like I can eat a whole pizza by myself probably within like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm a super eater. Like I couldn't win no contest, but I could definitely like eat all the food in my house right now. Yeah, like I would probably I'd probably go to the buffet. I don't know. They just opened up a Jack in the Box around us, and they have all like the little like sampler stuff.
Yeah.
I could mess that up real easily. Yeah.
Dude, Jack in the Box. Like, so we're in Raleigh. It's about 2 hours from Charlotte. So if anything is coming to North Carolina, it's coming to either Raleigh or Charlotte. Most of the time it's Charlotte. Charlotte has
Yeah.
Jack in the Box. We don't. So every time we go, usually against Christian's will, we're stopping at Jack in the Box on the way and on the way
It's
back.
and it's not just like, oh, spend $7 or $8 on Jack in the Box.
It's like,
No, it's like between $20 and $35.
yeah,
It's
you're stocking up. Like I'm getting the tiny tacos. I'm getting the fucking churro. Like it's Jack in the Box.
Yeah, the egg roll, man. I don't know how it's better than like half the takeout that I get.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
how what is Jack doing in that box?
Yeah, a lot.
Jack,
I gotta know.
what are
A
you
lot of
doing?
And then another just silly question that we'll wrap up on. What is the weirdest DM that you've ever gotten?
Oh God. Well, I'll just say I sell all my wrestling trunks with no problems. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Yeah, a lot of strange DMs through the years, but
Yeah.
Is that a repeat customer kind of deal, or like?
Yeah, at this point, like it's been the same like 4 or 5 dudes buying my stuff since the beginning, so I don't even like post them online anymore. I always hit these guys up. But yeah, it's like I'm in their DMs at this point.
Like, how does that conversation go? It's like, so it's that time in the year again.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, bro, I just got some new wrestling underwear. Are you trying to buy these? And do you need me to wear them before I send them to you?
See, that's a question I've always had: is what percentage?
I'm just teasing, but
I would believe, yeah, like that's a question we ask a lot. So I would believe if you have to wear them, like, it's always the thing, like, what percentage of it are wrestling fans versus, so
the other.
Yeah.
I feel like at this point,
I mean, yeah, it's always the other for me. I know that obviously they're wrestling fans, but like I guess they're wrestling fans. It's all the same, brother.
Yeah,
it's all the same. Wrestling's all the same.
Wrestling
you know what I'm saying?
is for everyone.
Yeah,
yeah. Greco-Roman.
Yeah.
Knuckle locking wrestling. All of it's the same to me. Yeah. Finger wrestling, thumb wrestling, whatever.
Arm wrestling. Well, this has been awesome. I really enjoyed it. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. We'd love to have you back on because, like, I feel like there's a lot of stuff we didn't talk about. But before we go, where can people find you again? And is there anything you want to leave our audience with in parting?
Well, I do. I have all the social medias. It's all. I think you have it right there in the box. Yeah. It's all Beef TCB. Everything is that, and then even
Christian,
on
what
Facebook,
do you think TCB stands for?
That Theodore Calvin Benjamin.
Taking care of business.
Oh, that's much better than mine.
Yeah.
But hey, I was waiting to hear what you had to say. Yeah. Like what you're. I was actually trying to think of something funny to say, but I couldn't.
I wanted to give you something, and my brain got stuck. I'm like, okay, we're just going with names. Okay.
Yeah. The phonetic alphabet. Sorry for interrupting you.
I mean, yeah. All Beef TCB, and then I guess if I have a message to everybody, just support wrestling. It's all the same. It's all wrestling.
Yeah.
Just give it all a chance. Don't be a hater and be cool and just enjoy your life. Don't be so stuck on stupid stuff.
Yeah. Listen to the first
try rolling down a hill. Come on.
Yeah.
Throw yourself down a hill. Yeah. That'll help for sure.
Yeah. Well, this has been awesome. Really appreciate you coming on. I'd love to have you back on at some point, and we wish you the best. Hopefully, the next time we see you is on the TV.
Hey, hopefully so.
And it's
Hey,
not on
tune
the
in
news.
locally. Yeah. Don't tune in locally. Actually.
Awesome, man. Have a great night.
Hey, y'all too. Appreciate you guys.